he played 9 years and didn't play. Like, this was his 10th year, and he didn't play a ton as a rookie as a receiver. It's 8 amazing years at the top of the league.
Yeah, I agree. When you said it, when you said peak, like, do I rank him as a top 5 all time? I don't know. It's hard to say.
Because he didn't play longer.
Yeah, but obviously he was great with Mahomes, and he was perfect for Mahomes because, Mahomes can do a lot of backyard stuff, and he was perfect for finding the seam, getting open as Mahomes scrambling and being there for a long pass. And then in 22 and 23, his first two years in Miami, or I think those were his first.
Yes.
Those 2 years, I agree with you. Like, Randy Moss with Brady and Randy Moss, period. But outside of that, I don't know who you put ahead, and Jerry Rice, you put ahead of Tyreek Hill. Like, I was wondering, technically he's not the greatest receiver ever. He does have some drops and some in big moments. He, route running is okay. It's not, but his speed changes everything. And obviously there are a lot of fast receivers, but his speed is different, and his ability to run after the catch. Like, so I just think that I agree. Like, those couple years in Miami, the interesting thing is this, because we're going to talk about A.J. Brown. He won his Super Bowl, Tyreek, with Mahomes in Kansas City, and was obviously viewed as a great top receiver. But it was in Miami that he actually put up these historic type numbers and really made you start thinking about him in comparison to Randy Moss and others. So that's where, an A.J. Brown looks at something like that and says, you left winning, but Tyreek got paid, and individually, at least for those 2 years, it helped him. So you have to think about that.
Just for the conversation, you did a retrospective. Do you think that that we're not going to see him, or we're going to see him in a reduced
Yeah, I mean,
fashion?
I think.
I know we're not doctors.
Listen, I think because he's not that tall.
No.
He's incredibly strong, but to Bruce's point, he's not a technician. He's not this amazing route runner. He's not, he's not super tall. He has good, but not like great hands even.
Right.
I had somebody, his first year in Miami, somebody really close to LeBron reached out to me and said, Tyreek's now the best athlete in American sports. He's a better athlete than LeBron. And that was, I'm mentioning that only for the context of like his raw, natural athleticism that he maximized. Can we show, like, there's the 13 seconds game is famous for a million things, and this kind of gets lost in the shuffle. This play with a minute left down, he's the only player in league history, I think, that scores on this. I really believe that.
I mean, look at that speed. Guys got all sorts of angles.
Run it again. This is, again, it's a minute left, down 3 in a playoff game. A regular play he's covered, he gets
like a first down.
And
these are DBs.
I mean, those are DBs that all have the angle on him in the biggest moments of, their season. Like, and so so the reason I say all that is, I really worry that if he comes back as a 4-4-5 guy,
right,
he's just not. And so, by the way, even though again, this was his 10th year, take this year off. His rookie year, he was a kick returner. So he had 8 years playing. Here's what he accomplished if we just roll through all of them, Dusty. Since the merger, 5 or more first-team All-Pros. Jerry Rice had 10, pretty good. Tyreek and Terrell Owens had 5, that's the list. The 1,700-plus yard seasons, all of them were since the merger. Everyone else on that list did it one time. He did it twice, both with Tua, never with Mahomes. And then big game performances, guys with a ring and 80 yards per game in the playoffs. It's Tyreek, playmaker, Trav, and Mike Evans. Like, he's packed a ton. Listen, a storybook football is, that in 2 years, he's on the Chiefs. You know what I mean? And he finishes there. I'm not trying to do that to the Dolphins, but I would think that
no,
now
but I think that it would be a
but I just don't know.
He will. I would imagine. First of all, he's 31.
Yeah.
So if he's 33 when he comes back, you're already older. Look at the difference in DeAndre Hopkins now versus when he's made some good catches, but he's not the same. So you got that. You got this injury. Nick's right. Like, if he's not this burner, Randy Moss is obviously the ultimate combination of just receiving skills and speed, because he was like world-class speed. But you've had guys that were great, just burners, like almost world-class speed in terms of track athletes, try to play football. Some of them did play, and they were okay. He is the greatest, outside of Moss, the greatest combination of somebody with nearly world-class speed in a track and field sense and being a really good, great football player.
Tyreek's 5'10", and Moss was 6'5", and had a basketball player's vertical. Like, it's just Tyreek's ability to jump for a ball, land, and get to full speed within 3 steps was unlike any player I've ever seen.
The Dolphins will play the Panthers on Sunday without Tyreek Hill. Chiefs, road favorites, looking to get above 500 when they head to Jacksonville to take on the Prince, and the 5th best scoring defense in the league. Nick, is it reasonable to have doubts about KC being fully back on track?
Well, so because we got, and I would like to apologize to Kevin Wildes publicly for my tone of some of yesterday. I get, as I've explained to the audience before, I get a visceral reaction to awful takes, and I should have controlled myself professionally better, so I apologize. But I want to be very clear on this. I am not of the belief or stating the Chiefs' offense of 2018 to 2022, when they were 32 points a game for a half decade, is what we're getting the rest of the year. You know what I mean? I don't think that is what's back. What I do think is they are out of their funk, and they now have the ability to combine what they had last year, which is situational excellence, and the last couple of years, a really good defense, with what is starting to be an NFL-level receiving core. You know what I mean? Like, they just, last year, they didn't have it because of the injuries, and in the first few weeks of this year, they didn't have it because of the suspension and the injury. And so what I think is unreasonable at this point is to go into any game against any matchup and look at the Chiefs as some decided or real underdog. Right. You know what I mean? I don't think they're running the table the rest of the way, and I think the Jags defense, as much as I'd love it to be the Prince is not why they're 3-1. The Jags defense is why they're 3-1. So I don't think they're going to put up 35 again, but I think that they're going to look more Chiefsy than they have, you know, pre-tackle that turned the tide, as everyone's talking about.
Brew, this is the Jags defense that Nick is mentioning. As I mentioned, 5th best scoring defense, 1st in touchdown interception ratio. Only 7 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, passer rating at 69, and red zone touchdown percentage at 44. That's 5th best. So,
and takeaways, aren't they?
Number 1 in takeaways by a mile.
Yeah. So
last year, last season, the Jags had 9 takeaways, which seems like an impossible stat, but it's true. They have 13 this year through 4 games.
No, their defense has been incredible. I think I agree with Nick, and I understand what he's saying. Like, again, I never thought they weren't a Super Bowl contender, but a lot of people seem to be thinking that.
Yes.
That they were done as an elite team.
Dynasty was over.
That's what is not reasonable to say, that they're no longer an elite team. And I think you can debate whether or not they're the best team in the AFC.
Sure.
It's really obviously them and Buffalo, and obviously the Chargers beat them. So the Chargers and the Bills and the Chiefs, if you want to debate that. But I will say this. In a big game, the only team I would take over, the Chiefs are playing an opponent in a big game. The only team I'll take over them is Philly. If you think Buffalo's better this year, then Buffalo's got to go prove it. I don't care what the Chiefs, they're not going to, they might go 11-6 or 12-5 or whatever. And they're going to probably lose a few games, but their mojo seems to be back. And I think they're just going to get better offensively with Xavier. That was just his first game. So he's going to get better. And then when Rice gets back. So, yeah, I think they're where we would have expected them to be coming into this season.
It'll be an interesting game here.
Jacksonville game. Can I ask a corollary from yesterday?
Sure.
So because of that full screen you just showed, by the logic we screamed at you or I yelled at you about yesterday, if the Chiefs score 17 points, that's not a bad game?
Not sure.
37 was not good against the worst defense, so 17 has to be not bad against the best defense.
I'm not sure. Anybody who scores, if you score 30 points on the Ravens,
you have an MVP candidate at quarterback. That's what we did. That's what we did. Oh yeah, Bruce ballot later today.
Should the Bengals make a move at quarterback? What are they doing? That's next on First Things First.
What?
And the Fox Sports Channel, Sirius XM. What?
Why don't you say, hey, what's going on?
Oh, I don't
The itch and rash of moderate to severe eczema